What's going on, guys? It's Danny from Slow Restoration, and we have a Jeep back in the shop. We're going to be doing a Falcon performance shock. It's the steering stabilizer shock. The part number is right there. It's actually a really nice looking piece. This is a 2011 or 12 JK, and let's just get started. Coming out of the box, it's an extremely nice piece. So this is all the hardware's already kind of in here. We have a new bolt for the track bar with a nut on the end and a clamp. But first, let's go over here, run up front, and we need to get this old system off. So we're going to remove this bolt, and we're going to remove this whole clamp assembly off the tie rod here. So these sizes, this is an 18 millimeter, and there is a nut on the back with the wings, catches it, and this is a 15 millimeter. Get them off, and we are going to take this whole bracket off. Once we get this nut and bolt out, we'll bend that bracket around and get it to come off that bar, and this side we're just going to pry the shock out. So once we pull that out, sometimes you'll have to pry that end of the shock out, other times like that one just fell right out. So this bracket is now loose on the tie rod, and we are going to just pry that apart just enough to get it off that bar, and we'll be ready to start installing. Once you have that pried loose, it just pops right off there. You're actually, well, you can keep it, but you're just gonna discard this. You don't need any of this system for the new shock on there. So next step is going to be removing the track bar, the lower track bar bolt. There is a cage nut on the back, and I believe that's a 18 millimeter. The track bar does locate that rear, so when we go to put that back together, we'll have to either pry that over or have someone hold the wheel over. Alright, sorry for the heater noise, but it is very cold today. So on this new setup here, we're going to take this end out, we'll take the nut off, slide this bolt out. This is going to be our new track bar bolt. We're going to line the track bar back up and use the factory nut on the back side, and this gets torqued to 220 foot-pounds, which is quite a bit. So make sure you get that torque down good. Back and forth. All right, so we got a guy inside, and you can see that hole is lining up as he's working the wheel. So just line that back up and reinsert that bolt through. It does help to have it down on the ground with the wheels in contact. It helps instead of just turning, it actually centers the rear up more. So now we have that bolt back through, we'll put it up and get that torque down. With that bolt back in there and the flange nut on the back, well, you can see that. So we have our torque wrench set up to 220 foot-pounds. We'll go ahead and snug that up. You definitely need a decent torque wrench. Most of them don't go up that far, but definitely get that torque right. So we have this hanging here. We're going to torque this nut down to 90 foot-pounds once we get everything set. You do want to center the body in the piston here. This one measured out to 4 1/8, I think it was, side to side. But either way, just center this in the center of the body in the piston. They do want you, here's the bottom clamp, they do want you to put Loctite, so we got some Loctite on these bolts. We'll go ahead and run them in. All right, we have this clamp on there, the clamshell, and Loctited, of course, and it gets torqued to 15 foot-pounds. So once you have that torqued down, these 4 outside perimeter bolts, the final thing to do is lock the center down onto the track bar, and that installation will be complete. It's an extremely nice unit. It looks good. It's all billet. Nice looking shock. I'm sure it's going to perform just as good. So before you put it down, just work your wheels side to side. Make sure you don't have any binding anywhere. Nothing binds out. Shock has some shock does have some resistance to it too, but everything's clear. Everything looks good, so we'll put it down and make sure as the suspension is down, it looks just as good. Again, guys, it's a very nice shock. Makes a really nice, quick install. As you can see, we're at about 5-minute install on the video, and honestly, in real life, it doesn't take a whole lot longer than that. Just you know, pay attention to your torques and stuff like that. But quick, easy install. The biggest thing to make sure after your install is make sure that shock is not rubbing on anything. You don't want to gouge it up or anything unnecessarily. If you're off-roading and you hit a rock, you may damage it, but you don't want to damage it just by driving around. And with that being said, it's a pretty short video, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off the video now with some footage of off-roading. Not of this Jeep, not of that Jeep. That's not a Jeep. Not of that Jeep, but of the Bronco. If you missed those videos, check them out. We go to Roush Creek and a couple other places with the Bronco. Sometimes it breaks, sometimes it doesn't, but it's a beater. It's a fun ride, so check it out. All right, we got talked into our first.
Can you go pro out here?
Yeah.
We're sending Danny into the frog hole here. I don't know how deep it is. I've only heard bad things about the place. I think with speed, just because you're sitting on top of the ice right now.
Ready?
Yeah.
And power.
Yeah. You're breaking it through now, so you might as well go. Try to hang right. Or actually, yeah, go straight. It looks like it's broken there. Oh, look at the whole wall. It's like an entire wall you're trying to get over. Yeah, like look at it on the right side there. It's an entire like wall. She did it. It did it. That is awesome. There it is. Holy cow.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Picture on that side.
Now I gotta go.
Yeah.
Dude, that was freaking like, legitimately, it's like 4 inches thick of ice.
Yeah.
Like it's thick ice. Yeah.
You gonna go? I'm just gonna let it cool down.
I'm gonna go through. I think I got to. I mean, now that you went, I have to go, right?
Pretty much.
I don't know how. Right now.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
And power. Woo! That ice is thick.
You're breaking it through now, so you might as well go.
Is that ice?
Or actually, yeah, go straight. It looks like it's broken there. Oh, look at the whole wall. It's like an entire wall you're trying to get over.
Go on.
Yeah, like look at it on the right side there. It's an entire like wall.
All right. right, guys. Well, thanks for stopping by, and have a good day. And we are getting ready to jump on this truck really soon. It's been in the garage in and out a couple of times. We got a couple of things done, but we're getting ready to make some big headway on this truck. So stay tuned.